Hi guys, Josh here and welcome to Frames Per Second. Today we're checking out the Rollei 35. Now this is the 3.5 version, not the 2.8, which has a faster lens. But they're roughly the same. Unfortunately the light meter in this one isn't working, so I didn't go into anything to do with that. But you're just going to see shots from this camera. Obviously this is going to be a bit different because it's me talking to you here. And you won't be seeing much BTS footage at all, but that's not why we're here. Today we're talking about the camera, not about the film stock or about the street photography necessarily, but we're just seeing how this handles and if it's worth getting, so let's get to it. Okay, so this belongs to my friend Jasmine, who you've seen on the channel several times, many times, mostly from the Melbourne trip. Obviously this is easily one of the most compact cameras ever. It's a rangefinder, but it doesn't have a rangefinder patch, so you're just going by distance as far as focus goes, and this is in feet. Now, one thing I kind of had trouble with is I kept mixing up feet and meters, because some of my rangefinder lenses are in meters, not feet, and some of them are in feet. And so that can get a bit confusing at times. And then also because it doesn't have a rangefinder patch, sometimes I would forget to focus. And I would like compose and then just take the photo, like get the exposure right, but I forget to focus. And so that's something that you just got to remember, and that's more of a me problem than a camera problem. Obviously, to make it this compact, they had to kind of take out some things that would otherwise be handy. I do kind of like the design of it to make it so compact. Obviously, your frame counter's on the bottom, and your little winding thingy, and it's just really smart how they've thought about rearranging everything so that it can be this compact. To open it, you gotta flick this little thing up, and then just slides open like that. And so you put your film in here, and then you have this little pressure plate that you just put there, and then yeah. But yeah, I do like how it feels in your hand, even though it is small. Sometimes that can be a problem with some point and shoots. I accidentally put my finger in front of the lens, but because the lens pops out like this, I didn't have that problem. And you can also use the lens as a grip with your fingers just around it. So your f-stop's here on this one, and that's your shutter speed. And yeah, it's a fun, light little camera, and as long as you're good with your distances, which I'll be honest, I'm not always that great with, I'm still learning, but I'm getting better each day. Now for this camera, I used Lomography 800, and I basically fluctuate between Kodak Gold and Lomography 800 whenever I'm doing test rolls, just because they're a bit cheaper than other options of that speed, and I like the looks and the versatility of it. So I put Lomography 800 because this did have a slower lens, and so I knew if I was shooting anything in dark places, it would at least give me that little bit of flexibility. Not that I really did that often. And then I also shot some Cinestill 800T in this as well, which I pushed to stops. And so I'm curious how those ones came out, just because I haven't seen them before this video, but I will have them in this video as well, I think, if I get them developed in time. There's one shot that I definitely, because I was looking through this patch, which isn't looking through the lens, it just ended up having something in front of the lens, which kind of sucked, but oh well. And just with the two buttons, with the, obviously the shutter button, and with the lens release button, there were times when I actually pressed one or the other when I was trying to get the other things. There was one shot where it's just a photo of the out of focus inside of my hand, because I was meant to just push the lens down instead of taking a photo, so that was unfortunate. For a camera its size, it's pretty good, it's really handy. I'm sure it's great for travel, not that we can do that much at the moment, but I think it's got a pretty good lens. It's sharp, like it's not ultra sharp like your Leica lenses or anything like that, but it's still good quality glass. I did like quite a few of the images I did take on this, but there were definitely some that were really shaky. Because it was dark and I was trying to get the right exposure, I did try to shoot at like a 15th or an 8th of a second. and I definitely shouldn't have. So there's definitely some shaky shots you will be seeing. But other than that, that's more user error than camera error. And I guess like for me the main negative is that there's no focusing patch. And so you have to guess by distance, and also that what you're seeing in your rangefinder patch isn't exactly going to be what you're seeing or what the lens is seeing in the camera. So there were some shots that just didn't turn out the way I was hoping. But other than that, the size, the weight, the ergonomics of it, I like the shutter release. It's good sound for a rangefinder, and it's not that intrusive, which is good. People don't really know you're taking a photo, and so that's a positive. I guess one thing is you can't really take close-ups with this because it only focuses up to 3 feet, and so you can't get nice portraits with that, unfortunately. But it's not really the camera for that. This is just for capturing street, capturing moments, capturing things on your trip, and I think it's a really good camera for that, and it's one that I wouldn't mind having. Now I would prefer to have the 2.8 version just for the speed, but these are getting more expensive, and I think even this version now is like $400 or $500, and just like a year ago they were going for like $250, $200, so it's definitely inflating. So I'd definitely get on it. If you are looking for one, get on it now before it gets more expensive. But it's a great little camera, and just the design and how it's able to fit so many features in it. And if you can get it with a working light meter, that's even better, and that'll be extra helpful. But I think it's a really good camera that's just really well made and designed, and so I definitely recommend it. And I hope the images are good enough to make you see how good it is, even though I know I'm not the greatest photographer out there in the world, but I had fun, and I think that's kind of what this is for. It's for fun and capturing memories. Not that I really did much of that, I just took photos of random things, because obviously we're in 2020. Can't be around people too much these days. So either way, I hope you like the images. Please let me know your thoughts on the camera and the photos in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you know when there's a new episode. Anyway, I'm Josh. This has been Frames Per Second. Just get out there and shoot some film.